Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Relentless. I am your host, Eleanor McCabe, IFBB Bikini Pro, Team Haley coach, and posing coach. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host,
Danielle Kissenberger, also Team Haley coach and posing coach for TM.
It is just us two tonight. Sess is not here, but she will be. So just hang in there, Sess. Shout out. We miss you.
Yeah, she has a headache, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you ever get headaches like that?
Random? No. Usually if I'm getting sick, I'll get one. That's a symptom for me.
I had one last week and it was
just
a random headache. It was the smallest little headache, but I was walking. I was like, you know what? I feel it coming. And it was once in a lifetime type deal, but it went away. I never get them.
I only get them if I'm getting sick. So hopefully.
So allergies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, it could be allergies.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, that's true. All right. So today we actually wanted to talk to you guys about something a little more personal, but also competing. So what is something that you wish you knew before you started competing?
So I'm going to answer this in a different type of way. I have multiple, but the first thing is something that I know I'm doing right now, but everyone does it, and it's overthinking about the smallest little things that you shouldn't overthink about. The smallest little things, like with your diet plan, anything, just overthinking about things that don't matter. And if you hit protocols at the end of the day, that's what really matters, right? So, I mean, right now for prep, I'm not on a meal plan, but I'm following macros, and it's like a meal plan basically.
Do you build yourself a meal plan?
Yeah, and I had chicken, but I felt like I should have had a protein shake because it'd make me feel leaner. And I was like, man, I could have felt leaner if I didn't have the chicken. I had the protein shake, but those things really don't matter at the end of the day. So just small little things that your brain likes to pick upon, I think is something that most beginners do because they're not educated on anything really. And
right.
So they pick apart every little detail, especially it's often seen. That's why people go on fitness influencers pages and they're looking at different types of training from every person.
Yeah, the swipe workout.
Yeah. And every diet. And it's you want to follow all of them, but then you also tear apart each one. And it's dude, what's going to work for you is different for everyone.
Yeah. I think overthinking is huge because we all do it. Like you said, we're both advanced. We've competed for a long time and we're still doing it. And for beginners, I think that can be tricky because in context of contest prep, if you're overthinking constantly your protocols, that probably means that somewhere along the way, you're going to get overwhelmed or burned out and you're probably going to mess up in a big way instead of just focusing on what's right in front of you and just executing, which I think we both do a good job of. But the overthinking, it's rough.
Yeah. And if you have protocols, just follow them. The thing about having a coach is that you have protocols, you hired them to not think.
Yes.
So don't think, don't stress, just do what's on the plan.
Exactly. And one thing too that this is a tangent actually, but that I want to touch on with food specifically, because so I'm on a meal plan, or I'm supposed to be, and I could not eat. I have been so sick of chicken, and I'm sure that part of it's emotional. But if I was on prep, if I was in a prep, I would eat the chicken. It doesn't matter if I don't want to or not, or if it makes me feel gross. It's on my meal plan, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
But because right now, I'm in that prep before the prep, I've been subbing with shrimp or ground turkey. But I also feel comfortable doing that because it doesn't cause me mental stress. I don't get guilty. I communicate with my coach. So I feel there are ways that you can sub things in your plan, in off season with your coach, working with them. But when you're on prep, I feel prep is the time to not have that overthinking or not have that emotional bias.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off season, the emotions are playing less of a part, which as they should be. You shouldn't be emotionally thinking as much in an off season. But in prep, yeah, I agree. If I wasn't in prep, I wouldn't be eating the same foods that I'm eating now. But since I just can't think about it,
Right.
It's funny how that works though. How the flip of the switch, when you're in the prep phase, you're in.
You're on.
Yeah.
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 I totally agree.
Yeah. You can't just like take things out. But I will say, like for me, meats with higher fat content digest way better than like things with chicken.
So like the leaner meats. Well, and also leaner meats.
No, like the one like beef. Well,
or like salmon.
Yeah. Oh, salmon digests like a king, bro.
Yeah.
But the thing has so much fat content in it. It makes me mad. It really grinds my gears.
It's like 23 protein and then like 12 fat. Like
I know.
It's like half fat for the protein content. Whereas like
seriously?
chicken. Yeah, I know.
But if I could, I would have all my. No, I take it back. I wouldn't have it all from salmon.
Just all salmon.
Dude, yeah. That's definitely the best protein source. But yeah, I would say overthinking's number one. Number two, can you re-ask me the question?
Yeah, something that you wish you knew like before you started competing.
Before I started competing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still in my fitness journey. Let's see here. So before hiring my first coach, so when I started competing, I hired my coach. So before that, I like wasn't doing much. And my first coach, she taught me a lot. It wasn't necessarily the best education for where I wanted to go. So I would say finding valuable sources to learn from.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Because it's like, again, with the influencers on IG, like it's easy to look at a picture or a video and be like, oh yeah, like she knows what she's doing. And it's like, dude, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Like almost learning how to like vet the source, not just taking it for face value. Because to that point, I was having a conversation with somebody today about posing because they came to me and they were like, oh, I'm going to be a posing coach. And I was wondering, like, who do you draw your inspiration from? Like, where'd you learn? And I was like, I studied all the national shows. I went on NBC News Online. I looked at all of the pictures from like Olympia, Arnold, the big pro shows as well. And I studied the competitors who were doing well, like their still shots, their stage shots. And then also you can go on YouTube, you can find the videos of them posing. And I found like the patterns, what they're likely to do. And then also like I have worked with 3 posing coaches, like you being one of them. I've worked with posing coaches. I've picked up tips from them. And so it was kind of like her question was like, where do you draw inspiration from? Like, where do you just copy from other people?
Man,
like that's kind of what was
that grinds
insinuated.
My gears bad.
And I was just like, no, like the posing tips that I put out are
valuable.
Are genuinely things that like either A, I'm struggling with or B, my posing clients are struggling with. So they're like real life examples. And I take that and I put it out so that it can help people. I was like, I don't just take other people's content.
So I think a lot of people think, especially with posing, because like it's not like there's like, say there's like 100 million coaches for fitness. There's like half of that for posing, right? I think a lot of people think that they can just do it. Like they know their routine's like pretty good. I'm a posing coach. Like no,
right?
Trust me, if they, I've thought about doing this too. Like I really would like to teach other people how to posing coach because of what we have in our brain, like how we coach people to pose. Like it's like it's like science.
I think it takes a lot more work. And it's like that thing where you could be really good at posing yourself, but you might not know how to teach others. And like, just because I have IFBB Pro, like by my name, doesn't mean that I know anything. Like I've had to work to learn. Just because I turned pro, like it doesn't mean that I could teach somebody how to pose. And right after I went pro, I had girls asking me like, oh, can you pose me? And I said no, because I was like, I went pro because I learned my routine like the best that I could, but that doesn't mean I can teach you. I had to take the time to put in the work and study and learn and figure out different poses for different bodies. And even now, like I feel like I'm still learning.
It's cool though, because every year, like we're going into 2023, and like I know there's going to be so many different like posing things going on, and it's cool. Speaking on that, I found out I learned something new today. And it's something I don't think you've learned yet, and like we can share. So if you listen to this, stay tuned to our IG or live. We could do it together. But it's based off posing, and like it's people who don't pose coach like us. Like no offense if you're not as educated, or if you're not like into posing, like you're not going to see or know like what to look for.
Ooh.
But it's sick.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay, so now we're giving a little sneak peek.
Stay tuned for that. It's sick. But that would be my second one.
Yeah. So knowing how to hire the right coach
What
and
to
not
look for.
not just going off of Instagram, but actually what results have they gotten? What's their personality like? I think that's important
That's a
too.
big one.
Yeah. Cause when I first started competing, my first coach, his personality, he was very bodybuilder and I respond well to that. But I think that also sometimes his like blunt straightforwardness would rub me wrong because he'd give me a plan update and like no explanation. And I was just like, okay,
Am I supposed
why?
to follow this?
Yeah.
Is this the right person?
Like, are you sure? But yeah, so I guess something that I wish I knew before I started competing has to do with reversing. Like, I wish that I knew how hard it was going to be because to me, preps are quote unquote easy. Like, they're never easy, but to me, prep is very cut and dry. Like, you follow the plan and you have an end date, you have a show date in mind. But after that, the reverse is so hard. And every time I've done it, I have gotten better. But I wish that more people knew going in, like, hey, this reverse is going to test you. Like, prep is hard, the reverse is harder.
Yeah, I agree. I have a lot of athletes who like are on my roster or inquire, and they have a show date in mind, and like, of course, like, no, I'm picking the show date for you when you're ready to win. But like, they don't think about afterwards. Like, like that's the biggest part. Like the reverse part, like you have to account for that when you're hiring a coach, when you're setting a date on stage.
Right.
Yeah, like you have to. That's hard, and it's different for everyone. There's like, how many weeks would you say you're in your reverse phase?
I'd say reversing till I'm like healthy, 12, 8 to 12.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Because you start to feel normal, but then you're not actually normal. Like you might at the 6-week mark, you might be like, oh my gosh, I feel great. But like, you're not there yet. Your body is still recovering.
Yeah. You feel great because you have more carbs.
Yeah.
But your body is like, oh my God.
Yeah. Your body's still freaking out.
Yeah.
It takes a minute to like reset internally. And I think some people are so goal driven. And I am too. So like, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. But then once show day comes and goes, there's nothing really holding them accountable. Nothing like time wise. They're like, oh, it's okay if I overeat here and there. And that just like builds and builds and builds. And I feel like mentally that's hard. Physically that's hard on your body. And it's just, that's something that if you are getting into competing or you're thinking about getting into competing, when you think about the ideal show date for you, which you might not know because if you hire us as your coach, we're going to tell you the show date because we want you to win.
And we won't know as soon as you hire us. Like,
right.
We're going to need time with your body.
It's going to take time. Yeah. But I would say, like, let's say that we pick a show in November. Listen, you're going to be reversing through December, January, maybe part of February. That's hard. Like, through the holidays. And most people aren't used to that. So...
yeah. So something I didn't know in fitness, it's on the same topic though. When I first got into competing, I thought you compete and the reverse was the whole off season. But I learned that you compete, you reverse, and then you're in your off season. So I didn't know there was like 3 phases per se. I thought it was just like either or. You're either prepping or you're in off season. So, but the reverse phase, and as challenging as it is, I do think it's almost fun. Because it's hard. It's mentally hard. It challenges you in a way to like just dig deeper, you know? Because you don't have like that strict plan. So you have to, or you should have a strict plan.
You almost have to like hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Without.
But there's, so like the hard part for most people, including myself at times, is like, say you're reversing, you have 2 free meals. And like, if you're in a prep phase, like, dude, you're back 4 weeks or more, right? Like, you're probably not even going on stage now. But if you're in a reverse phase, you have 2 extra free meals than what you're supposed to have. Like, you're not prepping for a show. You're just doing yourself disfavor. So it's not like there's no slack from like you're losing, but you're losing in a way.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for like future disappointments. I feel like it's really hard. It's very tricky because everybody's different. And I definitely think that there's a balance of like mental and physical health. But if you've come off a really long prep and you're reversing, it's just so critical to take care of your body like through that phase. Because I understand like there's recovery diets where you gain a little bit more quickly, but even that has structure.
Yeah.
Like it's never hands off the wheel, like let's just do whatever we feel like. Even within a recovery diet where your calories might go way up and you might gain body fat faster, there's still structure there. Like we're not saying like eat whatever you want for however long you want. It's still, you have goals, you have targets. So
even like I intuitively ate, I think the week after my show, I started intuitively eating. And like that was tricky, but he gave me it because he trusted me. And I asked him I talked to him about it. And it, we had a long convo. And like I trusted myself enough to like, I know I was gonna have some issues. I knew that. Like I was gonna face like temptations and like thinking about food all the time. But I wasn't gonna allow myself to go to the point where I was like, oh crap. Like I just rebounded, like I'm 30 pounds up kind of thing. It wasn't, yeah. So it's also understanding like where your limitations are. Like are you mentally, like you're gonna struggle. Are you mentally okay with having times where you're going to give in? But being okay to say like, okay, like 90% of the time, I'm going to hold my ground, Do
you think that came with time? Like,
yeah.
To me, it's almost like a skill. Like you've developed this skill of being able to intuitively eat. So maybe that's something that people can learn too.
Mm-hmm. So 2 things. I would say what really helped me, and this is probably horrible to say, was my eating disorder a long time ago. Honestly, because it did teach me a lot about like how I feel. And also I had to reverse out of my eating disorder. And that was way longer than reversing out of a show. And that took way more time and way more effort and way more mental strength and all of that, So that taught me. And secondly, I would say the entire reverse phase has like helped me understand like how I want to feel. What bloating actually feels like. Because I used to be bloated pretty often, but it wasn't like bloating to the point where it was like, oh, you have SIBO. It was to a point of like you just need to watch like how much you're eating and what chew better, all of that stuff. So now I'm more aware of that, and
I think that's valuable, and I definitely can understand that. Like the feeling of bloated or distension or overeating, like what I used to do post-show was try to fill that hunger, and I'd end up way overeating, and then you feel like crap. Like you literally feel just...
It's horrible.
So sluggish. But, like there's nothing you can do.
And your stomach like is so full, but it's also not full.
Yeah.
Because your hormones are fucked. Your thyroid's fucked.
Mentally, you could just keep going. Yeah.
You're like, you could crush anything, but your body's like, nah, bitch, I can't.
Literally, like seriously. And it took like kind of trial and error there for like me to realize, okay, if I want to keep my like waistline tight and if I want to increase my longevity in the sport, like I can't be doing this. Like I can't overeat to that point of feeling sick. It's just not healthy. It's not good. So it was almost like I had to learn through doing it. But now like my reverses go a lot more smoother. It's just still like the temptations. But I'm excited to be around you guys like the next time I reverse, because I feel like mentally it's going to be like a lot healthier of an environment. And like I can reach out to you guys and I know that I'll have the support. Like it won't just be me like trying to call Zach like, hey.
I know. I did that too. I was calling Sess. I was like, she's out of town. I had no one. I had people down here, but I lived far. Yeah. It was just different. Yeah. But it definitely helps having that community. And like, we all get it.
Yeah. Something else, I'm trying to think like something else that I wish I knew before I started competing. It's probably, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Probably something like with the phases too. Like I didn't realize that there was a phase for everything. I kind of thought with bodybuilding, like you're either building and growing or you're preparing for stage. And now I almost have the perspective that like there's 4 or 5 different seasons. Like there's like life seasons. There's seasons where maybe your goal isn't necessarily bulking or cutting, but it's like maintaining and like focusing on health. And just the longer that I've been in bodybuilding, the more I learn. So I guess something that I wish I knew going in was like how much there is to the sport, because I had no idea. Like it's like when you first start out, you're so naive, and then you get into it and you realize there's so much more to it.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely say like absorbing how much it offers. Like understanding that like when you enter bodybuilding, you pay for like a high level coach and whatnot. Like use the community, use the resources, like use the education, like use it all, like absorb as much as you can. And like honestly, because a lot of people get into bodybuilding or fitness and they want to become a trainer or a coach or something of the like. And it's like you definitely you definitely can. There's like a way to do it, but it's absorbing everything that is offered within like your coach and your education, all of that's provided for you.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
It's like it's a path that you can take. It takes a lot of work. Yeah. It's not something that you can just like jump in and do and be successful at.
That's one thing. I think everyone too. When you're first getting into fitness and like you get in your routine and like you're making progress and you're like, oh, I could teach someone to do this too. I can do it with anyone's body. And like not to slash anyone who is first starting their fitness coaching business, because that's how I did it too. Like I just started. And that's what you kind of have to do. You just got to start. But understand like your first clients coming in, like some are going to be easy, some are going to change, and some are not going to change at all. And it's like you just got to learn the methods. You got to constantly learn.
Yeah. That is huge, because I did the same thing. I was like, I think honestly, it was something that I'd been thinking about for a while of like, oh, I want to coach. But then I talked to Justin and I was like, I want to get more involved in Team Mahaley. How can I do that? Like, I was like, I want to be part of Team Mahaley even more so, because like I love competing for you, but I want to do more. Like, I was like, I know I can do more. And he was like, honestly, like you have to show me that you have what it takes. Like, show me you have the skills, the knowledge, the education. Like, you need to coach people, and then we can revisit this conversation. And I was like, okay. I literally went home and I launched my coaching like within like a day. Like I was like taking on clients.
Well, that's how it starts.
But like that's how everyone starts. That's how you go. Yeah.
They're like, like I even did the NASM thing.
Me too.
But it was COVID time. It was so long ago. And so I couldn't test or anything. I just started.
Yeah, you just go for it.
Yeah. And like you either fail or you just keep on going. And the only way to keep on going is by learning more. Yeah. So it's like a choice.
So I have like a funny story. I had an athlete that I worked with for a short amount of time, and it was one of those things where she was not making any progress. Like I couldn't get her to make any changes. And I was like, what is going on? And then like, I want to say it was like 2 months into us working together, I find out that like she's not following her diet at all. Like she's not following protocol at all. Like I saw her TikTok, because you know how TikTok recommends people who are in your contacts?
No, it ratted her out.
Dude, TikTok snitched on her. And I was like, this is why. But then she ghosted me and she launched her own coaching business. Like she was like taking on clients. I was like, I worked with you for 2 months.
It's probably your program, no offense. She probably she used it.
I wanted to check so bad, but I was like...
She didn't know what she's doing.
But I was like, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I was just like, man, this is crazy. Like, this world is crazy.
It is. People are like that. The thing is, though, like, it makes you mad. Like, it makes you mad that happened. It makes you like, dude, don't use my stuff. But then it's like, if she did use your stuff, she got 2 athletes who inquired with her, because like no one's going to inquire. They might inquire with you and then they're going to ghost you.
Well, then they realize you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something I wish I knew. How hard, as this is from a coach perspective, how hard it is to actually get athletes.
Like get their buy-in. Yeah. I feel that.
When you're first starting.
Like
when you first start, like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting inquiries. And they're coming in quick.
Yeah.
Like 10% actually sign up.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how mine was too. Yeah. It was like, I was like, oh wow, people actually want to do this. And then it like the drop off was so steep. But that is the name of the game. It's just, it is like something you should know if you're getting into this space. It's hard. It's hard at the beginning. Like you have to show that you're consistently producing results. And then I feel like the athletes will come.
I agree. I had a guy DM me. And he was like just kind of trying to pick my brain and whatnot, which is super cool. Yeah. Positive DM. And he was like asking me how he can gain more athletes and like get himself out there. And I was like, of course the education part, but I was also like, you just got to show people like you're smart. Like you got to provide free stuff like content in order to like help people believe you, because they're not buying your product, they're buying you and your service. So people who are new out there, like they're buying you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you have to sell yourself. That's something I had to learn too.
Same, but still learning.
Yeah, still currently learning.
You don't want to know about my program, you want to know about me.
Yeah,
because you already know what I can do. Yeah, it's very true though.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Is there anything else? Anything that we wish we would have known before we started competing?
Besides, like, there's so many like basic stuff, you know, like I don't want to say any basic low level stuff. Follow what you're doing for a consistent period of time. That's a basic low level, but everyone needs to hear it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Consistency is truly.
And it's not after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Your diet's not working after 2 weeks. Did you really hit it that hard? If you did, hit it another week and then let's assess. Like, kind of thing. Yeah. Not like some people. I remember when I first got in, it would be like 4 days in, and I'm like, no changes yet. Dude, you're 4 days in. Give it some time.
Yeah. It's so hard. People want the instant gratification. Yeah. That's a huge, especially with newer. I feel like people who are interested in competing, if they've been in the gym for a while, they understand consistency with training. Mm-hmm. But I do find like the diet portion is where people struggle the most, because they're like, well, I don't want to eat the same thing over and over. Yeah. And I'm like,
when I make diet plans for people, I usually make some like.
Do you do swaps at all?
Yeah, or I'll do 2, because I'm like, they're going to ask. I just know. And my diets are fun. At least from my point of view. You think this is boring? Trust me, you don't know what boring is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they'll always ask for like different stuff. They usually, and then I always give them the macros as well, because like, dude.
That's what I do too. So I'll like make the meal plan. I'll break down the macros and then the total calories. And then I also tell them, I'm like, if you don't like something in here, we can change it. Just let me know. Like, you don't. Yeah. Especially if you're just beginning, I want to remove any like barriers to this. So if you hate carrots, like,
carrots are.
I love carrots, but one of my athletes didn't like carrots. I was like, that's fine. I'm like, let's do a sub. But I was like, I love carrots.
Bro, okay. Have you tried carrots and peanut butter? I'm going to get so much hate on this. Trust me.
I have not.
Okay, wait. When I tried this, it was like when I was going through my phase of eating disorder, I believe. But carrots and peanut butter are not a bad combo. But if you're going to eat carrots and peanut butter, might as well have Oreos and peanut butter. I'm just kidding.
See, carrots and peanut butter reminds me of like the celery and peanut butter, you know, the little log
So
snack.
Honestly, that's way better. It's just I do. It depends how ripe the celery is. Yeah. I do like celery and peanut butter though. I thought about putting that in my meal plan. I did.
I like the snackies. So like when I'm in prep, I'm like, I have to be careful with the meals. Like I told Justin, please don't give me like rice cakes and peanut butter, because it's too close to a snack. Yeah. And I'll get emotionally attached to it. I'd rather just...
I feel that.
I'm like, just give me the rice.
Dude, I feel that. So honestly, rice cakes digest so much better than rice for me though.
Really?
But I believe, 100%. Not that rice digests bad. It's just rice cakes just digest like there's nothing. And I like that at times. I usually have them pre-workout.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on my meal plan, I have rice and bowl of gains and rice cakes as like my 3 carb sources around training, and those I alternate depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and like timing too, probably.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel that. I definitely, more meals, less snacks. A prep snack that I used to have, and it was super off topic, but was sliced cucumber with almond butter. And honestly, it's not bad. Mm-mm. And that's like a very prep-friendly snack.
So what I used to do when I was eating like nothing for nationals prep, I would do cucumber slices with Splenda.
So many people have done that.
It's and I so good.
Is it really that good?
I don't think it probably, if we ate it.
Is it because you put on a ton of Splenda?
No. I swear I wouldn't. It was like I'd cut up the cucumber and it would be like 1 or 2 packets of Splenda. Yeah. So maybe that's a lot. I don't know. But
it depends how much cucumber's there. You got 2 pieces. Yeah.
If I were to eat that right now, I would probably think it's so gross. But when you're on prep,
it's so weird.
It was so good.
It's so weird how that happens, dude. It's so freaking weird. It's like the things that taste good in prep taste like trash out of prep.
I used to microwave lettuce. in prep and put mustard on it because it tasted like noodles.
No, you did not.
I did.
You really did that?
I did. Dude, I have a picture of it.
No way. That's the craziest thing I've heard.
Yeah.
That's the craziest one. I haven't heard anything crazier than that.
I wouldn't recommend, like, it wasn't bad. My digestion is like pretty solid.
Why would you microwave it?
Because
so it's not weird until you said microwave the lettuce. That thing gonna be soggy.
Because it makes it warm and soggy like noodles. It's so good.
Oh my God.
Only good in prep. Only good in prep.
That's freaking funny. Yeah, that's definitely something that will never taste good outside of prep.
No,
ever.
people right now are like, that's disgusting.
They're like, all right, inquiry cancel. Yeah. I'm just kidding. They're like, I don't want that in my meal plan.
I would never program that for anyone. That's it was just, funny. It was something I did. Yeah. I don't know why. Things got weird.
No, I go through mustard phases. Mm-hmm. So like the Bowl of Gain sauces, I haven't bought them because I know I don't want to like, in prep, I rather not have things that taste that good because eventually they're gonna taste too good.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like I'll stick to like my salt and coconut oil that makes the thing taste good. The flavors, yeah.
That's what I do too.
Life.
It is.
We love it,
dude. We're about to be on prep life. Well, you are, but I guess I am. I
think you are. Hey, the other day we were at. This is so off topic. I hope y'all are loving this. We were at coffee and Justin I bought everyone.
Oh, you bought them?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Like he ordered
it
so
all.
Nice. Okay, does it? You know what? You're wrong. Yeah. Okay. And like he comes back with my almond milk latte and I'm in prep, right? And he comes back to Noah and gives her a black coffee. And he was like, you're in prep, no almond milk. And I'm over here like, wait. You don't get any almond milk? I'm like, wait, what? It was funny.
When I sat down at the table, I looked. And you and Seth had your lattes, and I looked at my cup, and it was just plain black coffee. I was like, they hate me.
Oh, dude, that's freaking.
And then
funny.
When Justin said that, I was like, oh, am I on prep?
I was so confused because I was like, wait, I'm closer to a show than Noah. What's happening?
I know that was confusing. We should have switched.
I know. Nah, I want to switch. This is my last latte for life, bro.
My last latte for weeks.
I was like, man, this might be the end.
Yeah,
that was funny.
I'll definitely have one last latte.
If you had
know what I mean?
One last latte, where would it be from? I know my answer, Dutch Bros.
Yeah, Dutch Bros is so good. I really like Codependent. Though.
Really?
Like Codependent, they have this like honey oat milk latte, and they put real honey in it, so it's the real sweetness. I don't know. I like that, but I barely order it because I feel like it's full of calories.
Man. You can tell we're in prep.
You can always, we are. Anyways, I think that's probably good for stuff that we wish we would have known before we started competing.
And a lot of other stuff.
And a lot of goodies in there, some hidden gems.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
I hope y'all really enjoyed the podcast today, leaving it feeling more relentless than ever. But we have a few things that we would love to ask of you, so I'm going to give this over to Noah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could, I know that this is your new favorite podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave any comments and questions below. And make sure that you're sharing across social media so that all of your friends get to listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
And if you have any questions about any topics that we talk about or anything at all, fitness, competing related, anything, we'll hit you back up, Instagram or in the podcast under, if the comment box is there, then we will definitely answer your questions and help you out as best as we can.
Absolutely. So leave those 5-star reviews, let us know, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Have a relentless day.
Bye.